Speaking of reaction from around the world, here is the U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper yesterday. Then we'll get your reaction.
We oppose and are greatly disappointed by Turkey's decision to launch a unilateral military incursion into northern Syria. Turkey must stop this incursion now, and that remains our message. Stop.
I guess you guys aren't going to stop, though, are you?
No, I mean, we're very determined because we have two objectives. One is to clear our border from this terrorist group, the YPG, which is equivalent to the PKK, which is a terrorist organization as recognized by the United States and the European Union.
So if you...
of course,
Go ahead with your second objective.
Yeah, and the second objective is to actually ensure the return of about 1 to 2 million Syrian refugees. We're already hosting 4 million of them in our country. And also, a part of this objective is because since the YPG grabbed a lot of land in northeast Syria, unfortunately, after the U.S. policy to arm them.
So hold on, I just want to understand this. Are you accusing the United States of helping terrorists? Because that seems to be where your logic is going.
Yes, I think it was a very ill-gotten policy.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back in a little bit of history, ma'am. Ma'am, in 2013 and 2014, your country allowed a jihadist highway of foreign fighters to stream across the border into Syria. Why? Is because you guys didn't like Bashar Assad? It's absolutely true. We spent a lot of time on the border with Syria and Turkey, and our reporters do. Yes, ma'am, it is. So the question is, you didn't go against ISIS. You liked that ISIS was taking out Assad, and now that the Kurds have done the dirty work, you say we can come in and take them out. Why is that not true?
Okay, so I think no, listen, Leland, let me finish and let me answer your question. I think the American public have a right to know because they're being lied to at this very minute. There's a lot of lies and misinformation about what we're trying to do here.
Well,
listen,
what do they have? What do we have? Hold on, man. So in other words, we're expected to believe that we're expected to not believe. Hold on, we're expected to not believe the NATO Secretary General, not believe the French, not believe the U.S. military that you've already fired upon, and believe that Recep Erdogan is on the side of the angels, and we should just listen to the Turks who have already been cozying up to the Russians and buying S-400 missiles. You guys are the ones who are going to tell us the truth? Really? You're not going to
get anywhere by demonizing Turkey in this way. Listen,
well, maybe if they deserve it.
Listen, let me just finish, but you're not letting me speak, please. Now, listen, I think President Trump is absolutely right in wanting to bring home U.S. troops because I think it's very unfair that U.S. troops are hostage to this very ill-begotten policy that President Trump inherited from the previous administration, that is arming one terrorist group, the YPG, to fight another. As for ISIS, we are the one country in NATO and in the international coalition against ISIS that's cleared more area in Syria from ISIS than any other member of the coalition.
I'm still lost here, though. If you all are the ones who are so good at fighting ISIS, if you all are the ones who are so good fighting ISIS, why was ISIS allowed to grow on your watch? And now the entire world is terrified that because of this military action by the Turks, that ISIS is going to be allowed to regrow.
We cleared a very large area. On the contrary, they were allowed to grow under the watch of the YPG, who fire at American soldiers, and that's been actually confirmed by the Pentagon.
Actually, the Pentagon says that you... Ma'am, I want to be very clear.
We did not fire on American soldiers.
Well, that's interesting because the Pentagon says you did.
That was a lie that was spun by the YPG. We were
the Pentagon said, ma'am, the Pentagon says that you did.
No, we were returning fire that was actually fired at us, at our territory, by the terrorists from that region. But we were very careful not to fire on the American observation post there.
Well, that'll be.
And no Americans were targeted.
Okay, well, that will be news to the U.S. Department of Defense. Because this is from the Department of Defense, who says Turkish artillery rounds landed near U.S. forces in northern Syria. How that is not firing on U.S. forces, I don't know.
We're not firing on U.S. forces. I've already said that.
Well,
and it's already been denied.
So you're saying it was an accident?
I've already said that they didn't. No, because we were returning fire from the terrorists who were actually attacking our border towns.
So just to
But
put,
we were
just so we go
careful
full
not to attack
circle,
US
just so we go full circle. The government of Turkey, and you as the president, one of the president's senior advisors, is accusing the United States of aiding and abetting terrorists against a NATO ally.
I said it was an ill-conceived policy.
Well, you're saying the policy is continuing.
One terrorist group to fight another. And I think that it's time you stop this policy. We're very disappointed that you're still working with the YPG outside.
Do you understand? But do you understand, though, the U.S. Hold on. You say you're disappointed. You've made your point, ma'am. You've made your point that you're disappointed in American policy. Let me ask you a question. Do you have you make a point that you're disappointed in American policy? People can disagree about policy all they want.
Yes.
Do you understand Americans' disappointment in a NATO ally that we've protected for 70 years, cozying up to the Russians, buying S-400 missiles, and supporting the Muslim Brotherhood, and helping Hamas in Gaza? Could you understand our disappointment and mistrust of Turkey because of those things?
Because everything that you're accusing us of is not true. Simply. I mean, I don't know why you're
It's not true. You all have S-400 missiles, do you not?
It's not true.
It's not true that you have S-400 missiles?
Yes. Yes,
okay, so that is true.
Because we need an air defense system, which you did not provide for us.
Okay.
What we were supposed to do. I mean,
so
look,
you just said something that I said wasn't true, and now that you said it is. I think, ma'am, you might be realizing why it's so difficult for Turkey to defend this policy.
Why we had the right.
Okay.
Well, you're not actually letting me speak.
We let you finish a number of times. It'd be helpful if we could. It'd be helpful. It'd make it a lot easier, ma'am, if rather than spin, we got actually some real facts out of the Turks. That's been difficult to do. We'll have you back sometime to talk about it. We appreciate it.
This is a terrorist organization.